Hey guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back, I'm not going anywhere. I'm YouTube famous now. Available on iTunes in 2026. This morning, I was watching one of my all-time favorite movies, true story, hashtag true story, The Wild and Wonderful Whites of West Virginia. Have you guys ever seen this documentary? Oh my God, it is such gold, okay? And there is this line in it when they hold up this bottle of prescription pills and they go, "The mating call of West Virginia." And I was like watching that, I was thinking, oh, Logan and Jake Paul. So if you don't know what you don't know is a lot, I'm a YouTuber. If you don't know what you don't know is a lot more, I'm a YouTuber that talks about other YouTubers, typically ones I can't stand and I think are absolutely fucking ridiculous. So last night, I was on Twitter and there was like, nothing going on. I mean, it was absolutely boring, right? And I like just happened to go to trending and Jake Paul was trending on Twitter. And I looked and it was like this picture of him that Keemstar had like tweeted out something about him. And I was like, what is going on? And so like I'm watching this whole thing, I'm like sliding. You know how you do with the sliding on the Twitter? The tweets. Do you have the tweets? If you have the tweets, did you call in sick from the tweets again? Listen. Stop calling in sick with the tweets, okay? They're gonna stop believing you. Although the tweets is a really good excuse. Like, that's diarrhea, get it? So really, but like, diarrhea of the mouth is like the tweets, because that's Twitter. So anyway, but you know like when they have the trending topics and you go to it and you just slide. And then after a while, it just has like random people that say things. And so I was like reading what was going on, and what's going on basically is that Jake Paul, every day, bro, it's a Disney Channel throw. Oh. Not exactly the Bob Dylan of rap. Anyway, Jake Paul, brother to Logan Paul, gods of YouTube, supposedly, because 12-year-olds say they are. I didn't realize there were 8 million 12-year-olds in the world, so some adults out there have to be watching this going, oh my God, so funny. But anyway, so I mean, he is just an absolute fool, isn't he? So I'm like watching this, and like, the Paul brothers are kind of this to me, okay? They're kind of like so goofy and off that it's like your girlfriend and she's like, you know how that one girlfriend, right? And she just constantly is getting these crushes on the weirdest dudes, right? And she's like, but I totally love him, that Paul guy. And you're like, Paul? And he has like that rat hairdo that hangs down the side. And you're like, no, he's not cute at all. And she's like, oh my God, I love him. He's so hot. What do you think is hot about him? And you're like, I don't think anything is hot about him, but she's gorgeous, right? And so you're like, what is she seeing him? And then like you see him and he's got like pale white legs and they just go up a mile and he's just real goofy. And you're like, what is she seeing this dude, right? But then, like, you start hanging out with him enough, and he's as annoying as fuck, and he can't tell a joke. His jokes are like, why 6 afraid of 7, and 7, 8, 9, and all that shit. And he constantly eats with his mouth open, and he's like, and just embarrassing as fuck, right? But just because she thinks he's cute, after a while, you're kind of like, I guess he's cute. That's what happened. That's how they have 8 million subscribers. These dudes are not attractive. They're okay. I mean, they're just totally average to me, right? They're not movie stars. Let's be for real, okay? And they do all these crazy pranks. That Vine shit, listen, I am so over Vine stars becoming famous on YouTube. They're completely 2 different platforms, and it doesn't carry over. But all the people that followed them on Vine are like, oh my God, they're so funny. No, 7 seconds on Vine is funny. 7 minutes on YouTube is not. You're not a stand-up comedian. So anyway, I've like watched some of their videos. I've tried to be very, very open-minded to Jake and Logan Paul. Oh my God, it's so boring to me, you guys. I just cannot get behind this gig at all. So anyway, apparently he and his douchey friends just run up and down the streets like they're a bunch of 14-year-olds and they lit the pool on fire last week and almost torched the neighborhood. I got all my information from Keemstar and Philip DeFranco, so I'll link their videos below. Y'all can go watch them. But anyway, So they like lit their pool on fire, and then the other day the neighbors were talking about how they're like noise, like complaints and nuisances and all this kind of stuff, which I actually talked to a friend of mine that's an attorney, and he's like, oh yeah, this is like really serious. Neighborhoods and neighborhood associations sue people all the time, and you can like force them out of the neighborhood. I'm like, seriously? He's like, oh yeah, it's like a really big deal. It happens all the time. I'm like, oh, okay, so you might want to pull down your arrogance a little bit and stop jumping on newscasters' trucks and all this kind of stuff, because that's what he did. So this is what happened. So Jake Paul, all the neighbors said, we're tired of your antics, we're tired of your shit, so we're gonna get together and we're gonna do, you know, some civil lawsuit towards you against all this kind of stuff, noise complaint or whatever. And he basically said, he tweeted at the neighbors, and he did this news, basically said, come for me, bitches, come for me, I don't really care, I ain't worried about you anyway, okay? He's 20, okay? Remember when you were 20. Oh, some of you probably aren't 20, but you behave better. I got 14-year-olds that I know in my life that act more mature than this dude does. So anyway, this newscaster's come out, and all of his friends are standing behind him, and he's like, yeah, I feel kind of really bad about what I did, and they're like, and I'm like watching this, and I'm like, is this the Christmas Story 2017? It reminds me of those dudes that are constantly harassing the kids on the way home from school, and they're like Dumb and Dumber. Like, that's what it is. Like, Logan and Jake Paul are literally like Dumb and Dumber, okay? Why are people so behind this gig? I am like mesmerized, okay? I don't get it, not one bit. I mean, there are a lot of YouTubers out there, like Tana Mojo, I talk about all the time, okay? Like, I do not understand the pull of Tana Mojo. But I understand it a lot more than this. I mean, she's a hot girl, I'll give her that, okay? She can kind of tell a funny story time. These two, I don't get it, not one bit. And to have this group of douchey friends behind them, and like, he's putting them up in this house apparently and just paying for all their bills. So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking like, this reminds me of something back in the day. Oh, Vanilla Ice. Well, you know, here's how Vanilla Ice was back in the day. He was just, like, I mean, is he like a distant uncle of theirs or something like that? Or did he just play a distant uncle in a movie that was like on at like 3 o'clock in the morning? Because, oh, that's where Vanilla Ice is now, living in a surreal house and dancing with the stars. So, Jake Paul, there's your future. Welcome to the world, baby girl. I just like can't. And so I'm sitting there and it's like 20 years from now, okay? He is still going to be walking the same thing. When you watch the footage of him get on top of this newscaster's truck, it is literally one of these moments. It's like, it's not funny, it's not pranky when 14-year-olds are laughing at you, but 20-year-olds that you know, and listen, hey, real proud of you for your success on YouTube, okay? That can be gone like that. I mean, literally, have you watched other people's careers that they say one wrong thing and their career is over, okay? You're not backing this up with a whole lot of anything. Great, I'm real proud of you for your one TV show on Disney. Who? I looked it up and I was like, I've never even heard of that TV show. Who watched that? Oh, 12-year-olds, okay. So anyway, so I'm watching all this going down, and yet again, at 20 years old, because my parents were very involved in my life at 20. They weren't telling me what to do, but they were involved in my life. My father would have called me up on the phone and he would have said, Peter, can I talk to you for a second? I'd say, yes, Dad, what's going on? And he'd say, so I saw you on this newscaster last night. Dad, yeah, what is that? And he'd be like, what the fuck is going on with you? You need to be in my office in a half an hour. I'd be like, listen, you motherfucker. I would never have talked to my father that way. I would have been like, yes, sir, and I would have been in his office, and he would have said, you need to pull your shit together. I don't care if this is entertainment. You are affecting people's lives. You're affecting people's peace of mind. You're affecting people's homes that they have saved a lot of money and worked very hard to affect. You don't care. You don't care at all. You have no, like, you cannot see the impact that you have negatively on the world, okay? Where are the people in these kids' lives that they just go, it's just like, oh, just fame, 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 fame. All that's important to me. You need to take a little lesson from celebrities out there like Anna Penguin. It's how I always want to call her Anna Penguin. But anyway, people like that, and like all these people out there that like were like Doogie Howser or Neil Patrick Harris. Like, he was a child star. Not all these child stars fuck up and become complete fools, okay? Oh my God, I just can't. I just cannot with this guy all day long. This is turning into really more of a rant than anything else. If you had asked me 6 months ago, what do you think of Logan and Jake Paul? I'd be like, who? I don't know her. She lived down the street. I don't know neither one of them. Are they twin sisters? Yeah, they look like twin sisters. I don't know them. Who are they? What? Who now? And never. I could care less. But I was watching all this last night, and I was like reminded of several friends of mine that I have in my lives that they'll call you up and they'll be like, and you'll be like, hey, how are you doing? And they're like, you know, their son's name is Donnie or something like that. Not to be confused with, you know, New Kids on the Block. But anyway, and you're sitting there and you're like, Backstreet Boys or whichever one Donnie was on, there was or Donnie on both of them. It doesn't really matter because they're losers. Just like Vanilla Ice. There's your life. It's over. This is your life 20 years from now. What are you doing with your life? I just can't. So anyway, then people are like, well, you're an old man. What are you doing talking about this? I'm trying to say that it's ridiculous. Somebody needs to pull on the reins, okay? Why are we giving power to idiots? This is what's wrong with the future of America right here. Listen, right here. So anyway, I was reminded of these girlfriends of mine that I have, you know, and they'll call me and they have babies at like 20, 22 or whatever, and I'll say like, hey, how are things going? They'll be like, well, we're really struggling with Donnie. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? And they'll be like, he just doesn't listen to a thing we say. You know, he punches holes in walls. He's just constantly just out with his friends. He doesn't listen to any. This is Donnie, okay? This is everybody's Donnie with 8 million subscribers and a shit ton of money. This is scary shit right here, okay? America, parents, you should be very, very, very concerned. I'm starting to wonder when class action lawsuits by parents, okay, will start to come together instead of just neighbors and say, we're not okay with YouTube bringing so much attention and sponsorships bringing so much attention to these young fools out there that are affecting our children. And then people will say, well, you know, like parents should like make sure what they're watching. What? My parents were not censoring what I watched at 15, 16 years old. And if they did, I would have said back up a little bit, please, okay? We all need a little bit of privacy. But this is what's so killing to me is that why is this what children aim to be in our society today? It is so sad to me that when you look at the world, okay, and you look at the kids on YouTube that are being really successful, they are all of them a complete mess. I want no part of that. I mean, what is going on with that? That is so sad to me. Look at it, you know? Back in the day, it was the Tyler Oakleys and the Joey Graceffas and, you know, the Colleen Ballingers and the, you know, like, all these kids that were like the Kingsleys, you know, all these kids that were really neat young kids, right? That were starting in colleges and telling their real life stories and doing gaming and things like that. Now we got a bunch of assholes. I'm gonna tell you what right now, fuck this Big Brother shit next year. Fuck this UK celebrity Big Brother stuff. I want a big house full of all of these. I'm gonna put Tana Mojo in there, and I'm gonna put her friend, I don't know, Cinnamon Rice, that she's always kissing on. I'll put her in there too. And that Ken and JC, and the Jake, Logan, Trojan brothers, whatever their names are, Jake and Logan Paul, put their asses in there, and all of these people. And then we'll act like it's a TV show, lock the door, let them out 20 years from now and say, guess what, now you're irrelevant. We've been feeding you all this time. Guess what, you're stepping out, you're still irrelevant. They're not going to hold on to this forever. Enjoy your 15 minutes of fame. And if you don't know what that means, do a little history lesson and go look online at what Andy Warhol said. In the future, everybody will get their 15 minutes of fame. I guess this is mine. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.